So welcome to Lies of the Orange Era. We are about to play a clip here with Trump defending the ICE agent and the fact that they should be able to wear masks, not have to identify themselves, and not wear any identification. And this isn't new. We're going to look at the historical parallels of what Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin said right before they used them as their secret police and called everybody else vermin and like unpatriotic. So let's hear what he had to say.
Two Democratic senators now, Cory Booker and Alex Padilla, have a new bill out. They want to require CBP and ICE officers to have legible IDs, and they don't want CBP or ICE officers covering their faces.
Seems reasonable to me. You should be able to know who's arresting you or at least been identified so you're not immediately defending yourself. If somebody grabs me off the street, I'm going to do something about it.
Would you ever sign that?
Well, they wouldn't be saying that if they didn't hate our country.
Standard response. Hey, you hate our country because you're not doing exactly what I said.
And they obviously do. I'm surprised that they would do it. Knowing a little bit about them, I don't know them well. But these officers are doing a tremendous job. They're great patriots.
Yeah, all these great patriots getting rid of the farmers, going to Home Depot and arresting day laborers, and they're killing it.
If you expose them because of statements like have been made by Democrats and others on the left, usually, mostly.
By Democrats and others on the left, usually, mostly. I'm sure there's probably something else you can throw.
Probably exclusively.
Yep, just talk around in circles, bro. That's your style, the weave, so you make no sense.
You put them in great danger, tremendous danger. And it's sort of funny when people picket in front of Columbia, in front of Harvard, and they have masks on, more than masks. I mean, you can't see anything.
They're not carrying automatic weapons.
Nobody complains about that. But when a patriot who works for ICE or Border Patrol puts a mask on so that they won't recognize him and his family.
Who's coming after their families? They're grabbing people off the street.
So they can lead a little bit of a normal life after.
And by the way, I just read an article in The Atlantic. They are not having a good time at ICE, despite what the administration says. People are being interviewed. They're being taken off of real cases so that they can run around and get people at Home Depot. So we don't want to hear that.
Having worked so hard and so dangerously, there's a problem with that. So they have this is the problem with the Democrats. They have a lot of bad things going on in their heads. They've really become they've lost their confidence, number one.
So the only true thing he said. They have lost their confidence. I don't think they have any idea how to combat what's going on, and they definitely need to figure it out real quick. Because the Republican Congress ain't going to stand up for anything, because you just saw the big, beautiful bill. They don't stand for anything.
And they've become somewhat deranged.
And there you have it. It's always deranged. Let's divide the country. I know I'm the president of the United States, but I'm only going to help half of you because that's the job. So let's look at some historical examples of the exact same stuff going on and where it's probably going to lead. So I know most of us are not going to speak German, but in this speech from 1934, he's basically giving the exact same speech that Trump just did, but obviously Hitler likes to ramble, kind of like Trump. And there's thousands of pages of speeches, so we're going to play a quick clip and let's go over some of these quotes in the speech.
Wäre auch ohne weiteres bereit, seine gesamte militärische Einrichtung überhaupt aufzulösen und den kleinen Rest der ihm verbliebenen Waffen zu zerstören, wenn die anliegenden Nationen.
Kind of talks like Trump, definitely with his hands. Trump might go like this. He's like, blah, blah, blah. So let's take a look at some of these quotes that came directly from this speech, and you tell me who this sounds like. All right, guys, I know a lot of you don't like the comparisons between autocratic leaders, but this is what's happening. Let's look at some of these quotes. We're going to check out Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin. Let's see the types of things they said and see how it mirrors what's going on right now. So Trump here, these officers are doing a tremendous job. They're great patriots. Hitler, the Brown Guard is to thank for it with an incomparable methodicalness. That's pretty much what they're trying to do here. Trump, you put them in great danger, tremendous danger. Hitler stood by the new state in unconditional loyalty and allegiance. If anybody's paying attention to what's going on with the lie detector tests in the FBI to make sure allegiance is the number one priority, it's like, who cares about the, who cares about investigation and stuff? We got to make sure that nobody's talking shit about Patel. So these are the types of things. Identical strategy. Praise them as patriots. Justify their secrecy as protection from enemies. Blame opposition for forcing the secrecy. Paint critics as dangerous, like the deranged Democrats. That is the playbook. All right, so let's look at Mussolini. So here's his praise of internal security forces, the emphasis on secrecy and protection, and then, of course, using them against political opposition. The most instructive thing to see here is the last one. All the opposition newspapers have been suppressed. That's the end game for, Trump's administration as well. All the anti-fascist parties have been dissolved. The end game. All the opposition in Italy has collapsed. They have dispersed. They are finished. There remains only dust. So let's check out Stalin. These are more summaries because he didn't speak that much. He generally acted through like intermediaries and his subordinates. But these are the gist of what he also said. The NKVD is the sword of the revolution. That's what ICE is going to be. The shield of the Soviet state. Our security organs are vigilant guardians of Soviet power. And let our enemies know that anyone who attempts to raise a hand against the will of our people would be mercilessly crushed. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that Trump has actually said against American citizens, the ones that were actually born here. Let's see if we can draw any parallels from that. And as we've seen from this administration, it might start with criminals, especially illegal immigrant criminals, where it's already been proven that they commit less crimes. I don't even know what this guy's talking about anymore. But also, it starts with judges. So it starts with a pretext to do all these things. And then what ends up happening is they just go further and further with it. So Trump's already there. This is April 14th. I guarantee these things are just spinning around in his head. So let's see what he's got to say.
Obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways, that hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat.
Okay, so show me some footage of this that's happening. I'm pretty sure that would end up everywhere. If there's any footage at all of that, that's just a bunch of nonsense.
When they're not looking.
Who's throwing people into subways? Does he watching House of Cards and, comparing himself to Frank Underwood? Like, what does that mean?
That are absolute monsters. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country. If it's a
Let's see.
Homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now,
hey, I have no problem. So he wants to deport us. He doesn't care at this point. He's going to use ICE as an internal security force to then punish people that are the opposition. This is not new. As Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun.
We're studying the laws right now. Pam is studying. If we can do that, that's good. And I'm talking.
And you guys know what that means, just like Stephen Miller said. It's just a way to get away with something. I'm studying the laws so that way I can figure out a loophole to get around it, because no way the states are going to ratify an amendment that lets us get rid of homegrown, native citizens here. This guy doesn't care about anybody but himself and his own retribution. It's got nothing to do with the Constitution or that it's wrong. Constitution was built to protect us against people like this.
About violent people. I'm talking about really bad people.
And I'm sure he is. Of course, some of us are going to think, yeah, it would be nice to get rid of some criminals and then deport them somewhere else. But all that means is that it's just going to become more and more up to his discretion. This guy said this about us, and that's fake news, so he's got to go. It will get to that point, and this is something that we have to stop, and that's why I do this show. Okay, so let's look at some more false narratives and intimidation tactics. This is at the White House, July 8th, just a couple days ago.
Number one, you have a communist running, and you shouldn't vote for him. He's
a socialist. We already know that.
A disaster. He's leading. He's got the Democrat nomination because that shows you where the Democrats have gone.
So the only thing he's capable of is attacking, never bringing anybody together. We already know that.
He actually wants to take over the grocery stores of John Catsimatidis, who was a great guy, a rich guy, grocer.
As long as he's rich, that's the number one qualification to be a good guy in Trump's world. If you're rich, then you're good. And by the way, the people that vote for him, you're never going to be rich. He's going to take even more from you.
Does a good job, wants to take over. He actually called me the other day. He's concerned his stores are going to be taken from him.
And they won't. This idea is thrown out there by Mumdani, but it's not going to happen. All he's trying to do is lower the cost of living in New York City. So this is just another example of just spreading misinformation. He's threatened to deport him. He said that Pam Bondi has going to look into it to see if he's up for deportation. Same kind of stuff that he says about Elon Musk. Once you're a naturalized citizen, the denaturalization process is insane. Once we're in, we're in. We're United States citizens. That's how this works. Okay, so we all know that the big, beautiful bill just passed. It's $107 billion to their budget, which used to only be around $9 billion. So tell me this is not going to be a Gestapo. Let's see when a U.S. senator in his own state tries to ask some questions.
Yeah, great. And belting. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary.
He identified himself. I'm a senator.
Because the fact of the matter is, a half a dozen violent criminals.
This is just, they're at least showing their true colors here. If, he's trying to ask a couple questions to Secretary Noem, who, by the way, might as well be Stephen Miller because she has no idea what she's doing. All he's doing is trying to ask some questions. So let's see the result here.
That you're rotating on your.
I also want to talk about typically how many of our ICE agents have been doxxed after going in the
Okay, so if this can be done to a United States senator, what do you think is going to happen to us when we have some questions?
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hand, go ahead, stand behind my back.
All right, cool. One hand, lay flat.
Other hand, sir.
This is ridiculous. He's a senator in his own state, and he's being wrestled to the ground right in the hallway as this lady just keeps talking. For the sake of time, we're not going to show this one, but a judge in Wisconsin was also arrested for the same type of behavior. Her name was Hannah Dugan. Check that one out as well. So this is just more and more of Gestapo-type things that are going to continue happening unless we put a stop to it. So in conclusion, this is Lies of the Orange Era. I'm going to continue to document the types of things that are only moving us closer to an authoritarian government, how we're basically getting screwed by the administration at every turn. He is not delivering on his campaign promises in any way that would make us happy. Again, this is Lies of the Orange Era. I'm Ernie Coles. Subscribe, like, definitely drop comments, man. I'm reading every single one of them.